Well, it's been a couple of weeks since our last update, and we have a lot of news coming out of Microsoft and Meta and Apple and OpenAI. And so let's just jump right into some of the latest news that you should know. Let's start with Apple. If you've used Apple Intelligence or Siri at all in the past year, you know that it really hasn't changed all that much since they made a whole bunch of promises about it last year. And you know that it doesn't really compare to the other LLM models that are out there. To Apple's credit, they're somewhat acknowledging that fact. Their senior vice president of software engineering said this.
As we've shared, we're continuing our work to deliver the features that make Siri even more personal. This work needed more time to reach our high-quality bar, and we look forward to sharing more about it in the coming year.
Now, that's a pretty tame way of saying it, but it is significant that Apple's acknowledging it, and it segues into some additional news that came out about Apple this week. Apple is potentially looking at a purchase of Perplexity AI. Perplexity AI is a startup company. It's valued around $14 billion, and their selling point is that they're a search engine that's powered by artificial intelligence. It's like a hybrid of Google and ChatGPT in one place. Apple has been pretty vocal about their insistence on building their own LLM, but this potentially massive purchase could signal a shift in the way that they're thinking about those efforts. Next up is Meta. The Wall Street Journal released an article saying that Mark Zuckerberg has personally reached out to hundreds of researchers, scientists, infrastructure engineers, product stars, and entrepreneurs to try to get them to join a superintelligence lab that he's putting together. In addition to that, news came out that Meta is buying a 49% stake in a company called Scale AI. And if you haven't heard of Scale AI, that's fine because I hadn't either. But I learned that Scale AI is a company that provides training data that powers machine learning systems. A lot of the biggest players in the AI space use it. I mean, you're talking OpenAI, you're talking NVIDIA, you're talking Google, just to name a few. And so those companies are pretty concerned about what Meta's 49% stake in the company means for data privacy, for neutrality, and for competitive intelligence. Next, Midjourney is getting sued by Disney and Universal. Midjourney is a generative AI program that creates detailed images and now videos from text prompts. It's a lot like DALL-E or Imagen, but the difference is that Midjourney is known for the high quality results that they produce. But Disney and Universal filed a suit against Midjourney saying that their images closely resemble, if not downright copy, some of their iconic copyrighted characters like Yoda or Darth Vader or Boss Baby, and that Midjourney's ignored requests to implement filters or licensing safeguards. The results of this lawsuit are going to be fascinating because it could decide whether AI companies are allowed to use copyrighted art and characters to train their models without the permission of the company. Finally, here's one for folks that are in the advertising space. A betting platform named Kalshi aired an ad during the NBA Finals that was completely AI generated.
Indiana gonna win, baby!
We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on! I'm all in on OKC!
Kalshi says the ad cost about $2,000 and took about 2 to 3 days to create, which they say is a 95% cost reduction versus traditional advertising. And arguably, it looks pretty good considering it was front to back created by generative AI. It'll be really interesting to see how generative AI continues to permeate into the advertising industry and reduce cost and reduce production times for ads that are shown on some of the largest stages. Well, those are some of the most notable updates from this past week in AI. But as always, this world continues to move and change and grow. So I'm excited to see what we'll have to talk about on the next weekly AI update. I'll see you then.